Hi guys, and welcome back to the Ride Right Waxing channel. Tonight I am going to be fitting a solo OneWheel Pint Float plate to the bottom of my board. This one's in blue in colour. I got this from Float Europe. It's got the tails and tip on it with the cutout handle on there as well, so something to grab hold of when you're picking it up from the nose, which is great. It's got the self-lubricating plastic on here as advertised, so basically it will help with any nose dives. I've had a couple of those recently. I don't know if it's me riding too fast or obviously I'm going uphill or whatnot, but anyway, that hopefully will help. And also trying for then like tail slides and nose slides on curbs and things, so that should be quite cool. And also it will protect my pint. Now I thought it'd be in keeping to put the OneWheel pint of mine in a Corona box. It's a good little stand actually, and I'm going to be using this box just to make sure that it doesn't move around too much. We've got all the fitting instructions here. We've got the screws just under there, and we've got some cool little stickers that they've supplied. So I've got my first sticker to go on my OneWheel pint, which is great. And it's got basically here the instructions you get is peel back the adhesive piece on the float plate, which would be these red bits just here. Replace the 4 long screws with the included long screws. Remove and replace the 2 short screws with the included short screws. After installing, press down hard on the adhesive areas, and it's got a big capital letters, do not over tighten the screw. So I did have my drill in the background there, and a bit like when I fitted my fender, I'm actually going to use their Allen key. That's just a blood blister there that I got from falling off and nose diving the other day on my last trip out to Starcross. So yeah, bit of a killer that. It's all a bit numb still, but anyway. So yeah, I'll be using this, and then we're going to give the board a bit of a clean up. I've got some stuff here. We've got some tar and glue, so I'm going to lay that down first. On the underside to make sure we've got no tar that's flicked up off the tyre, and make sure we've got some really good adhesion for those stickers. And just in here I've got some interior cleaner. I use that with a paintbrush just to clean up the grip tape and to get into all the finicky areas, not making anything too wet, and a couple of cloths there, detailing cloths just to clean it up. So as you can see, it's all taped up at the moment. It looks awful, so I'm going to tidy this up. I just like to try and keep things nice and tidy, as you'll see in a second when my Mini will appear in the background. So let's set the camera up and let's get into this. Okay, this is my Mini, my classic Mini that I've had since I was 16. Like I say, I'm 43, so this has been with me the whole of my life. It's my pride and joy, and I look after that, and as clean as that is, that's how I try to look after my OneWheel, and that's how I will look after my OneWheel. So let's flip this over, let's pop it out of this box. Again, good little box, in there quite nicely, nice little stand, and as you can see, we've got some grime and dirt, and that's all the tape that I've had on just to try and protect it until my obviously float plate turned up. Apologies for the knees. Got some shorts on today. The weather is absolutely gorgeous, so yeah, let's get into this. So we're going to use some of the tar and glue just to get some of this tar black residue off the base of this, make sure it's clean and tidy. We'll use some interior cleaner just to sterilise and clean it, a little bit of brake cleaner just to tidy it all up. But as you remember, when I fitted the side rails, we've obviously got the side rails that fold over just on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a hairdryer and just warm them up. I've got some fresh Stanley knife blades, and I'm just going to cut down the edge of here. But what I'm going to do is obviously offer the plate up. Let me just work out which side it is the front side, which is that side. So that's how it will sit. I've gone for blue because I thought it was quite cool, quite a decent colour. So that's how it's going to sit on the bottom. So yeah, it looked quite smart. So it'll just stop all this gouging that I'm having. Obviously on the tail and on the nose. So looking at it, we've got to cut quite close to the edge of that line there, both sides, which makes that nice and straightforward. So we're going to warm the adhesion up, so I'm not going to cause any splintering, and we're just going to cut along this edge with a nice Stanley knife, fresh Stanley knife blade, and get that off. So I'm going to pop you on time lapse just to really burn through this, and you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, we'll see how this tidies up. So let's get into it. Okay, so taking off the side trims, I've cut those off with a nice fresh Stanley knife. In the process, managed to pop my blood blister, which is always really good. And obviously I'm taking the screws out. Now these screws that we removed do have blue Loctite on. And what I've done is I've just laid them in the format of actually where they've come out on the floor below. Now, I do notice the screws that are supplied with the new ones don't have any Loctite, so I will be putting a little bit of Loctite on that, blue Loctite as well, just to make sure that they go in and they're nice and tight. So yeah, a little bit of a shame really, they don't come with any on, but we're just going to pop these screws just quickly out, like so. And again, I'm laying them on in relation to where I'm taking the screw from, so I know exactly. There we go. It'll sit there. And again, these have all got blue Loctite on, so I would advise just ordering some Loctite. Let me just grab my Loctite just very quickly. A little bit of thread lock. This is what I use. Blue thread lock, Loctite 243, and just a little bit of a dab I will be putting obviously on the new screws. Now, the difference in the screws, this is the one I've removed, and this is the one I'm going to obviously insert. Oops. Let's try again. So quite a bit different in length, and obviously that allows for the float plate extra thickness to be allowed. So that's one I've removed, and again, same for the little screw, difference in length, which is there as well. So again, they sit just behind, or should we say just in front of the wheel. So we're going to pop those in as well. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Seems to gained a spare screw. So they give you 3, I suppose, in case one drops out or you lose one. So they give you 3 of these, and I get 5 of those. So I'm only needing 4 and 2. So that's quite nice to know that I've got a spare one. But by putting the Loctite in, I shouldn't have any issues with them dropping out. So this is all been cleaned. I've cleaned all this back, so there's no silicone or anything like that on there. Obviously we've got the sticker to remove. So again, my little trusty hairdryer. I'm going to warm these stickers up, warm the base up so we get really good adhesion, and making sure we get this lined up straight away so we don't get any lifting from the stickers. So I'm going to put you back on time lapse and we'll get it. Okay, so we've Loctite all those 6 screws in. This float plate only actually fits one way, so you can't get it wrong. The big sticker sits at the back because you want the handle at the front, so if it's upside down and you're thinking which way does the handle go, the screws themselves, you've got 4 at the front and 2 at the back, so it totally dictates and also your charge plug always sits on the floor. So gone around and done all these tight, and now I'm just going to go around and just make sure I just tweak them down. But again, a bit like a cylinder head on a car. I'm doing it so I'm putting even pressure across the actual base plate. Might seem a bit silly, but I'm all about just making sure that things get torqued down properly. So you kind of go around in a motion. And again, it says do not over tight. So little nip up, because I've got the Loctite on there as well. That allows for you not to have to do it to FT. Loctite itself will cure, giving a good bond to that screw and just basically stopping it from vibrating loose. Always worth keeping the old screws, because obviously if you change your mind and you want to take this off, because obviously you do different colour bumpers, etc., different colour rails, there's all sorts of different colour stuff going on. Yeah, so I'm just going to quickly give it a tidy up, give it a clean up, and then we'll have a look, see the final finish. So, okay, so we flip this over. What I'm going to do with all the old screws, grab the old screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2. I'm going to pop them back in the bag that they came from with the instructions, and then that way if you keep it safe. So just in here, get Spirit Wipe. I've actually got Spirit Wipe anyway. Got a little float sticker. Just a business card, which is quite cool, and another float sticker as well. So keeps the actual wipe itself. Put the fitting instructions and the wipe back in the bag, and that way then we can keep that all nice and safe, and we know where all the screws are. And also I'm going to put the 2 spare screws that I had also in there. Now we know that they don't have Loctite on and the tool to do it, so that is all kept nice and safe, just in case you ever want to change it. So I'm going to give this a bit of a clean up. I'm going to show you a little technique that I use just through many years of skateboarding, and it's always been quite good. And I know there's a few people that say you shouldn't obviously get any water in the electrics, and this just obviously stops that from happening to a point, because you don't overload the grip tape. So if you're thinking about cleaning your grip tape, a bit of interior cleaner, just spray your grip tape, use, as you can see, just agitates the grip tape, and you can actually clean your grip tape without actually getting it too wet, too dirty. You can see the colour already just lifting from the grip tape, giving it a good scrub over, because you get quite grubby and you never know what you've stood in. And then you just get a cloth, pop it on, give it a rub, hey presto, nice clean grip tape. Clean around the edges. Do the same to the back one, give it a clean out, and then we'll have a look at the final fitment. So see what it all looks like. So back on the tarmac. Okay, so there we are. One cleaned up pint, now with a float plate on. Quite like the blue, it was quite striking, doesn't it? Basically, yeah, let's get it nice and close. We've cleaned it all up. Grip tapes come up lovely. And that's all that is, a bit of interior cleaner and a little bit of a brush, not too much, literally 1 or 2 squirts. And then you can just simply agitate the grip tape. It doesn't take any of the grip tape. A nice dry microfiber, lay it on top, just soaks all that moisture back up. And this thing's looking ship shape and mint again. I must admit, those rail guards, as you can see, have had some good old battered marks, so they're doing their job nicely. And no doubt this plate on the bottom. So relatively quick. How to fit a float plate to your pint, and a bit of a detail clean just to finish up. So I'm going to get some stickers put on this finally. And yeah, so thanks ever so much indeed for watching again. If you do like these videos that I'm doing, if you'd like to hit that like button, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button, I would really appreciate it. You can follow me on UK OneWheel on Instagram. Like I say, once this lockdown's obviously out of the way, and people are no longer getting sick, which will be the blessing for everybody, we'll be out shredding with my mate Tom, and yeah, seeing what things we can get up to on these things. So yeah, until next time, thanks ever so much for watching, and look after yourselves, and I'll see you soon.